Good afternoon and welcome to Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. You're watching Citizen AY. Thank you for joining us once again. We truly appreciate you. Um, One of the things that we are looking at as this particular video, I'm going to be having something next to the video because we need to make sure that the message gets through to everyone watching this video. Very important message in it, and I want you to make sure you play your part. How do you play your part? By sharing the video. Please subscribe to Citizen AY on YouTube right now. We truly appreciate your support and help in all of this, and help us get the message out there. The Fulanis don't belong to our part of the world. They belong in Guinea, and that's the first message. And this next picture will make it pretty clear that they do not in any way or form have anything, any claim to any part of our land. Let me just get you what I'm looking for. Sorry. Okay, now here we go. I think you'll see it coming up in a minute. Just give me a minute. Okay, so now where is it? So just do that. Okay, now you're gonna see something come up, and let me just change it. I'm going to change the aspect a little bit, make it small. Sorry, make it small. So we'll reduce it now. You're going to have that on the screen there. You're going to see it on the screen. That's what I want you to see. You need to see that on the screen. I'm dropping it down a little bit because I want you to see that name, Futa Djalon. That has to be something that we need to be seen in our. So now this is what the Fulanis come up with. They are revolting vehemently against the so-called the anti-grazing laws that the governors are passing in the south, and they don't care at all about the lives of the farmers that they've killed, that have not been compensated. Their families have not been compensated. The crops destroyed. Nothing of the sort. They are only talking about their own rights. And of course, they come from Futa Djalon. Let's remind them that. We need to remind the Fulanis, all of us collectively, we must do a job of reminding the Fulanis that they don't come from our parts. They have to be reminded. Since they want to go down that route, I'm going to try and zoom in close so you can see. See, that's where they're from. See, it is in Guinea. Of course, in Guinea, they overthrew the Fulani president. Alpha Conde was removed. And now what we're going to do is go and listen to this video about the Fulanis and their ranting. We have the right to our land in the south, and we must kick them out. There's one more picture I wanted to show you. Actually, I had this. I'm going to do that right now before I go forward. I'm going to pin that there, and I want that to inform your thinking. It's very important. It's really important that it informs your thinking, because you will be thinking to yourself that, well, let's be this, let's be that, let's be, they're not, the Fulanis are not at all, willing to accept that we are, Yorubas. And of course, the Yorubas, we have evidence of our existence in there for over 13,000 years, speaking the same language. So we're not going to have it. We're not having it. They are not. No Fulani. The Fulanis, the root comes from that Futa Djalon area. They don't belong to any part of ours, and they can go back to where they came from. We're not having it. So let's get this information for you. Let me see. Let me just see if I put down. Yeah, okay, let's see that coming up. Okay, it's not. Okay, just give me a minute. I will find it, because I know I used it yesterday. And I'm just going to try and get it out there so you can have it. Give me a minute, please. Sorry. Sometimes it does happen that information that you want suddenly doesn't come to hand easily. But rest assured, we will find it. It is in here somewhere, because we posted it and did everything here, and it came up pretty much yesterday. And I want to make sure that we have it here. 1 second. Okay, so that was there. So it's around here somewhere. When you want something and it doesn't show up, One sec, one sec. Yeah, welcome. Got the picture I wanted. In the picture that you see, you will see is Tafawa Balewa. His words are, these are his words. We do not want, sir, our southern neighbors to interfere in our development. I should like to make it clear that if the British quitted Nigeria now, at this stage, the northern people would continue their uninterrupted conquest to the sea. Tafawa Balewa. I'm going to play that, and I want you to be watching. Remind yourself, Tafawa Balewa, they are all Fulanis. They come from Futa Djalon, and they must be sent back. That's what they want. They want their conquest to the sea, and we are not. No way. They need to be going back to Futa Djalon. That's what it is. So now listen to this, and this is their one of their grandsons that they've been taught this nonsense, and we need to confront it. So listen to what they say.
Frederick Bestia.
Let me just go here.
Anti-grazing laws and banning of open grazing is a satanic agenda to destroy our means of livelihood.
Can you hear that?
Desperate politicians acting on faulty and self-serving security reports. It is Frederick Bestia in 1801, in his Economic Sufism, who said, when plunder becomes a way of life of a group of men living together in a society, they create for themselves in the course of time a legal system that authorizes it and a moral code that glorifies it. This is a clear case of the current rush to create negative laws against our cultural heritage.
Fulani, where do you come from? We're going to remind you again. You come from Futa Djalon. And this is, of course, your story. You are coming to talk about plunder. You have the guts to talk about plundering. What do you think you're doing? You come with a sense of entitlement that your so-called grandfather, Usman Dan Fodio, who, by the way, belongs to Futa Djalon. His parents come from Futa Djalon. He must be from Guinea. He must go back to Guinea. And you lay that as a claim to claim our land? Nah, we are not having any of that at all. And we need to challenge them at every step of the way. So we will play it. I'm not going to say much more now, but I'm leaving the pictures there. Just remember what they represent. They come from Futa Djalon, and they must go back there. Right, let's play this.
Anti-grazing laws and policies are attempts to ban open grazing are nothing but populist and corrupt-driven agenda designed by visionless, inept, and desperate politicians to destroy pastoralist means of livelihood. These dangerous and satanic laws must be nipped in the bud by the National Assembly to safeguard the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, as it portends greater danger to the corporate existence of the country. These oppressive laws and hostile policies being enacted by state governors are fundamentally going against the Fulani pastoralist culture, economic interest, and constitutional rights. It is important to note that interstate movement of pastoralists is similar to interstate commerce, which is an exclusive preserve of the legislative powers of the National Assembly under Item 62 of the exclusive legislative list. To this effect, any action taken by any state assembly that is in conflict with the above section of the 1999 Constitution as amended is null and void and of no effect and of no consequences to the pastoralists. These laws do not take into cognizance the sociology, economic of production, climate variation, and other push factors that are inherent in pastoralist movements across ecological zones. It is a common knowledge that Nigerian mode of agricultural practice is still primitive all over the country and are not consistent with global best practices. So why singling out the pastoralists who have been suffering from cumulative years of neglect in terms of development from both federal, state, and local governments? There is a looming danger and security implications of these satanic laws by the ill-informed governors on national security. The laws will destroy livestock production and send into poverty millions of people that depend on livestock value chain. The butchers, the transporters, the livestock dealers, the consumers who are used to affordable source of beef and milk are going to be affected. The laws will undermine relative peace and stability currently enjoyed in local communities and threaten social order. The laws will exhibit cattle rustling in local communities as criminal gangs and state-sponsored vigilantes like Amotekun and other state-sponsored gangs to be rustling our cattle. The laws will lead to a serious humanitarian crisis as families will be destabilized, market and economic livelihood will be disrupted. The laws will lead to massive cross-border migration that will create further security challenges for the country. Our prayers. The National Assembly and Mr. President to intervene and stop the current attempts by some state governors to criminalize our means of livelihood of cattle rearing.
Can you see this, guys? Can you believe what they're doing? That is why we need to raise the alarm. I'm going to keep putting the pictures there to remind all of us where they come from and where they must go back. They must go back to where they come from. They come from Futa Djalon, and their grandfather, the so-called grandfather that they like to wave and put in our face, is the man, of course, that they believe that he gave them. He won the land for them. How can a man who died in 1817 win a nation called Nigeria for them? They need to explain that. A man that died in 1817, that is from Futa Djalon, how can he win the land, the new nation called Nigeria, like this Ahmadu Bello fraud says? How dare they say they are coming to take the land? They should go back to Futa Djalon. That's where they have fundamental rights, not in our land. We have the fundamental rights to our land as Yorubas, Biafrans, and Middle Belt. Enough of this nonsense. We need to confront them with the facts. Now, let's go into it. Just 1 minute, please. I'm just going to get you another picture, because I want you to keep in mind, everything I'm showing you now is based on fact. They don't want this kind of facts to be exposed, but we will expose it. That's why they're trying to shut down phone lines and everything else. One of the governors came up and said they've shut down a state. I can't remember which state they shut down now. Is it Adamawa or something? I'm not quite sure which state they shut down. Don't quote me on that state, but I need to confirm that to you. So and they shut the state down, and that reason, the reason being, they want to silence anybody. They don't want people to know they're carrying out a mass genocide as we speak. Whilst they're talking to us about their rights, they're carrying out a mass genocide. So let's see how that looks. Let me see. Can that fit? Does that fit in? No, okay. Okay, I'm gonna do something with those ones at a minute. Let me see. 1 second, please. Give me a minute. Let me see. 1 second, please. Not that one. No, okay, sorry. I have a lot of information which I'm trying to deal with, but it's in the way, sort of, and I don't want to necessarily move it, but at the same time, maybe I do need to move it. So I'm just going to show you, sorry. Just going to show you. Let me see, how can I put it? Yeah, so I'll try and put it above him. That may be better, yeah. I want you to know that is his ancestors above him. So I just want you to see this information. It's important that this information, we see it. But of course, I'm trying to make sure that I put it in the context so that it's not in the way. Okay, it's not going to let me do any of them. I'm not going to get it smaller than that, I don't think. Okay, let me see. Can I put it on this side? I'm trying to find a way to fit it together. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, good. Perfect. I'll take that. So do this. So, perfect. So we've got it there. Now let's play. So hopefully we should be able to play now, and I'll bring it back.
Enacting of satanic and obnoxious laws, they call anti-grazing laws, which I call antichrist, targeted at Fulani pastoralists. The federal government should create a ministry for livestock and fisheries as obtainable in many African countries. Nigerians should adopt strategies in responding to changes of climate change as it affects livestock production, not negative laws. Government should take an inventory of all existing grazing reserves, traditional grazing areas, transhumance corridors, major stock routes, and fully develop at least one grazing reserve in each senatorial zone in line with the recommendation of the Interministerial Committee on Livestock Development in Nigeria 2015, the report of Presidential Committee on Pastoralism and Insecurity.
You see what they're doing there? They completely ignored the confab report. They have completely ignored the confab report. But here they are talking to us about reports in 2014, 2015. So they have the right. This tells you we are not the same people. We are not equals in our own land. The Fulanis who are from the areas I'm telling you, Futa Djalon, they are telling us that their rights are more important than us, those to whom the land originally belongs to and continues to belong to. There are indications, there are bones that have been found, Yoruba bones found, 13,000 years. We are the same people. We've been in existence there. Others may try to tell us anything different, but we've been there. We've been there. And none of this, everything they're saying now is all lies. They come from Futa Djalon. That is indisputable. Their so-called great-grandfather is, of course, no other than Usman Dan Fodio, who grabbed land. That's all he does. To go and grab land. Grab people's land. That's all they do. And they want to continue in that vein. We must put a stop to it. We must put a stop to that nonsense. We must. So let's listen on anyway.
2014 and the Livestock Transformation Program. The existing African Union and ECOWAS protocols, regulations of pastoralists and transhumans should be domesticated and proper documentation and implementation strategies be put in place to check illegal migrations into the country. The government should incorporate pasture development in the implementation of the grid grain wall in combating the desertification and preservation of small water bodies. A review of the Land Use Act is long overdue to accommodate the interests of all land resource users, particularly pastoralists who are in need of land to do their business. Ranching, as envisaged by many, requires massive capital investment and is difficult to sustain, not economical, and is not smallholder centered. So government should lead in the way of creation of ranches, because a poor stakeholder cannot have the money to buy land to create ranches. We are calling on the proper funding of the National Commission for Nomadic Education and of expansion with mandates to educate pastoralists to imbibe modern ways of livestock production. The National Assembly should come to the rescue of the pastoralists by resuscitating and passing the Grazing Reserve Commission Bill and other livestock management bills that were initiated by previous National Assemblies and still lying fallow. There is need to introduce livestock tracking using GPS technology and support community-based conflict mechanism. In a similar vein, our organization totally condemned the continuous extortion of Fulani pastoralists.
They say nothing. Look at them. They say nothing about the killing of Yorubas, Biafrans, Middle Belt. They say nothing. Look at them. The message that they're sending to us, you see, they are all sitting in there. Look at them. And look at the smile on their face. We are the ones in control. You know what they're trying to do there? They're trying to psychologically tell us that they are more than us. And they're not. And I want to take this opportunity. Those of you who are Yorubas and Biafrans, we need to stop wearing their clothes. We must stop wearing Fulani kaftans. Stop all of that. That for them to wear. They can go and wear that in Futa Djalon, in Guinea. On our land, we will wear our own traditional clothes. So I highly recommend that we do that now, because our thinking is not the same. Our food is not the same. Our behaviors is not the same. There is nothing similar. They need to go back to Futa Djalon. Look at them. Look at that picture. What does that tell you? That's a self-entitlement look. They have all of them self-entitlement look. And we must not accept this anymore. They are from Futa Djalon, and there they must go back. End of story. Now let's put this back before we carry on.
and profiling of Fulanis by the governor of Benue State, Samuel Otom, and call on him to offer an unreserved apology to the Fulani race for the tissues of life.
You see? Profiling of Fulanis. Profiling. Really? Okay, let me get you a picture. Now that you mentioned that, you said profiling, right? Okay, let's get you a picture. And you tell me, you guys tell me if this is profiling. Let me get you a picture. Okay, I got time for this guy today. I'm gonna make sure we confront this nonsense. We have to confront this nonsense. This is utter nonsense. And they're trying to paint themselves in the light as though they are the people who are gentle. They don't go and attack anybody. No way. They're the ones who are doing the killing. Right. Whilst he's telling us all that, I'm going to pause it there. I want him to answer this question. They painted the Fulanis in a bad light, right? That's what you're saying. Then explain to us this picture. Explain to us this picture, Mr. Young Man. The young man that you've been misinformed by those who are using you. You're being used. You need to explain to us why this Gumi. Look at Gumi sitting with terrorists. See, he's sitting with terrorists. They've got guns. That's Gumi. Is there? Is that fiction? Is that a figment of our imagination? Is that a figment of our imagination? So when you talk about, let me just play that line again, and I'll bring this video.
Propaganda,
now listen.
Bills that were initiated by previous national assemblies and still lying fallow. There is need to introduce livestock tracking using GPS technology and support community-based conflict mechanism. In a similar vein, our organization totally condemned the continuous extortion of Fulani pastoralists and profiling of Fulanis by the governor of Benue State, Samuel Otom, and call on him to offer an unreserved apology to the Fulani race for the tissues of lies, propaganda, falsehood against the Fulani ethnic group.
You see? So that's a Fulani lie, right? So this is a lie. So it's a lie that Fulanis are walking around with AK-47s and killing. So why, Hani, can this guy explain to us about Gumi? Since he's saying we're telling lies. There's Gumi in the picture with Fulani terrorists, Boko Haram, ISWAP, all of them sitting down. They are holding guns. Look at that. So there is no lie in what is being said by Otom and others. And we're stating it. We remind you again, you come from Futa Djalon. So I will bring that back. Let's go in. Let's carry on now to what we're saying.
Particularly our organization, the Mieti Allah Kautal Hori. Our organization applauds the renewed efforts of security agencies in the massive onslaught against criminals, cattle rustlers, kidnappers, bandits, particularly the near decimation of Boko Haram terrorists in the northeast, arrest of the notorious Biafran terrorist Nnamdi Kanu, and the smoking of the murderous Yoruba bandit gangster Sunday Igboho.
Can you see what these guys are doing in our land? Again, I remind you, this is where they come from. This is where they come from. They must go back to Futa Djalon because they want to take our land. They must go back to Futa Djalon. Now let's do this. I want to just do this. Do this again. Do this one more time. Sorry. Then do this. So 1 minute, please. Now, so I'm going to play him through now, I think.
Benenwa prison. Our organization totally condemned the vituperations of one emir of Muri in Taraba State for genocidal propaganda against the Fulani pastoralists and have since taken the necessary legal steps against the misguided local monarch and have written to the Taraba State governor to immediately dethrone the deranged monarch.
Can you see? Dethrone the deranged monarch. They don't like to hear the truth. They don't like to hear the truth. So the monarch has spoken about the fact that the Fulanis are killing, and now they don't want us to speak in our own land. They must go back to Futa Djalon. So let's keep playing. I'll let you listen to it, and I might interject now and then. Let's go ahead. So there. All of these are pointers for us to know where they come from. Never forget that. They are from Futa Djalon. All of us must spread the word
Finally,
about
we
that.
commend the courageous efforts of the federal government under the progressive leadership of President Muhammadu Buhari for listening to our consistent call to restore existing grazing reserves and routes, create new ones, as it is the only sustainable solution to the farmer-herder conflict in this country. What is the arable land we have in Nigeria? We have over 38.7 million hectares. How much is being cultivated? Less than 40% of that land is under cultivation. That is one. Secondly, we have marginal lands that are not cultivatable. The hilly areas, lands that are not meant for agriculture, nobody is cultivating. The whole thing, the policy is not designed to bring peace and progress. You must accommodate the pastoralists. You must first agree that they are Nigerians, that this challenge...
They are not Nigerians. Let me say that again. Listen to this. Listen.
Peace and progress. You must...
No way. We don't agree. They are not Nigerians. That's why I'm telling you all. They are not Nigerians. Fulanis are not Nigerians. In fact, you're not. You are from Futa Djalon. Okay? You are from Futa Djalon. And that Nigeria has been the name you've been hiding behind. We're going to expose you. You are from Futa Djalon. You're not even a Nigerian. You're not. You're not a Nigerian. You've taken over our land, and you're coming to the south and you want to take it because that's what your plan. We don't want, sir, our southern neighbors to interfere in our development. I should make it clear that if the British quitted Nigeria now at this stage, the northern people would continue their uninterrupted conquest to the sea. That is the agenda. And I want you to read. I'm leaving that on that page till the end so we know what we're faced with. We need to defeat the Fulanis from our land. They need to go back to Futa Djalon. That's where they come from. They're not Nigerians. I'm stating that. They're not Nigerians.
Accommodate the pastoralists. You must first agree that they are Nigerians, that this challenge of land resource use have to be addressed. Once we address it, look at our nature of agricultural practice. It's still rudimentary. Extensive cultivation of land. So the land is enough. What we don't have is the will to accommodate these pastoralists. Just because they don't have title on the land, that doesn't remove them from being Nigerians. Their need for the land has always been opportunistic. Now that agreed population have increased, what strategies are there in place?
Can you hear this nonsense from the man from Futa Djalon?
Don't say we should just go and create ranches.
He is a man from Futa Djalon.
We love to have ranches. We love to have our children.
Go back to Futa Djalon.
One place to develop.
Go back to Futa Djalon.
But when you give a zero option, you either ranch or you live to where?
Futa Djalon. Go back to Futa Djalon. Go back to Futa Djalon.
Consider these herders as their citizens.
Go back to Futa Djalon.
Designate places for them, which we have it all over the country. They are not after taking anybody land. All over the West African sub-region, herders have not grabbed land anywhere. Even when they had opportunity to grab land, they have never grabbed land.
Lies.
Because their need for land is opportunistic.
Straight lies.
So now we are facing a challenge in this country where we have conflict between farmers and herders. And it's basically
not. Go back to Futa Djalon.
Conflict on land and water. What do you need is a proper land management that we need in place.
Go back to Futa Djalon.
Create the ranches. We are ready to rent the ranches. We can't say either we ranch or we go. Who will even give you the land? Go and look at the Land Use Act. For you to access 5 hectares of land, a governor have to approve it for you. You have already mobilized the population, the local citizens, against the herders as the people perpetrating conflict. Who will now offer the
you are Fulani terrorists. You are all Fulani terrorists killing us.
In a wider perspective.
No.
But the truth is that the herders
go back to Futa Djalon.
They are Nigerians.
Just go back to Futa Djalon.
So if you destroy their means of livelihood, you'll be faced with other challenges of crisis, banditry, and what have you. That's why we are concerned. That's why we are shouting and crying. We love peace more than anybody. The herder carry everything he has on his head, including his family. So you'll be the last person for crisis.
Go back to Futa Djalon then.
Is for the country or the narrative to hang insecurity on the herders. We are victims. If you have rural areas that
that's a lie. We are the victims.
You have terrorists terrorizing rural areas.
No, that's a lie. We are the victims. I cannot show pictures, the gory pictures of the killings, beheadings that the Fulani terrorists, the Boko Harams, the Mietialas, the ISWAPs have done on Southerners. The displacement of people all over the place, all by Fulanis, going into our forest, raping our women, destroying our crops. This is all propaganda which we've seen through. You go back to Futa Djalon. Go back to Futa Djalon. That's where you come from. Futa Djalon is where you come from. The Usman Dan Fodio, your grandfather, did not bequeath you my name and my land. No. He has no right. He wasn't even alive when they created Nigeria. That contraption called Nigeria. It wasn't. So all of this stuff that you belong here, you don't. You need to go back to Futa Djalon. You don't.
It's not the responsibility of innocent headers to fish them out. It's the responsibility, it's a failure of government to do that. We are also victims. So by the time now you think you can use ethnic profiling and brand every header as a criminal, then you are not helping the situation. Even those that are not in crime, you now push them into crime by association. Particularly the one from
utter nonsense.
He's confused.
Nonsense.
Because in front of their eyes, all the Fadama areas have been taken over. All the watering points that are meant to serve both headers and farmers have been converted into Fadama areas for cultivation. They are supposed to be the leading states in finding solution to this crisis, because these headers are culturally attuned to the people. They are mostly from there. They should create ranches to serve as.
No, we said no. Other states to copy. No, you are from Futa Djalon. Go and create your ranch in Futa Djalon.
So all these pretensions they are doing, they are running out from their responsibilities. They allow this crisis to accumulate and also affect other parts of the country. What you see happening in Zamfara, Katsina, Niger State is a consequence of abandoning the herders over the years, neglecting them. No education, no any development of the livestock sector. And you now want to force them into banditry. It's a failure of governance. So how can they stop transportation of, are we the one transporting cattle? The business of the value chain of cow business involves everybody in the society, not just Fulani people. So can they, if they close down the whole market, probably it's for temporary security measures. Maybe they want to do some operations, as we know that it's ongoing in Zamfara. But I know nobody will say I'm closing cattle markets over the country, because the people that the market sustain, you cannot imagine when you go down.
No, we're not having that.
So we support any security measure that will bring peace. But what we are saying is that we are the first line of victims of this bandit.
No.
The new Minister of Agriculture,
you are not. No, we're not going to let you get away with it. No, the people who own the land, the Biafrans, the Middle Beltons, the Yorubas, we are the first line. You've been killing us. You've taken guns. Fulani government that's giving you guns to be killing us. We are the victims. You are not going to play that game with us. You come from Futa Djalon and you must go back there. Go and create your grazing route. The Fulani can go and create their grazing route in Futa Djalon. Let them go and create it there. Not in Yoruba land, not in Biafra land, not in Middle Belt. We don't even want them in Hausa land now. Let them go back all the way back to Futa Djalon. That's where their so-called father to them comes from. He comes from Futa Djalon. His parents are from Futa Djalon. He must go back there. He might have been born in Sokoto, but he is an immigrant that must go back. And if the killings that are going on were justified, we have the right to protect our own life. You are not going to take our life and tell us that you have every right above us. No way. We're not accepting that. Everybody, let them know. The people, they come from Futa Djalon, they must go back, go and create the grazing route in Futa Djalon. Right. Let's carry on.
Wagon of those somersaulting from Ruga to ranching to Brazilian grass to Moro livestock transformation. What we need is simple. Designate grazing areas for us. Develop massive infrastructure that headers will have communal use there. It's not difficult to create dams and say this area is for herders. Then introduce the modernization gradually. You have where you do the breeding, you have people that develop the feed slots, but the governors are not investing in anything. So how do they expect to solve the problem? But when you go and check their expenditure profile, security vote, billions. I pray EFCC go after all of them.
So you've had it there now. So you had the lie that he's had to spew. He spewed out utter lies. I'm going to leave the pictures. I want you to leave the pictures. And I'm going to add one more picture to it. And I can talk through this. We don't even need to. It's not even a debate with these people. They are a bunch of self-entitled thieves. That's what they are. So I put that in the middle so you can see that. And I want you to have all of these pictures, to have it in your mind, to be very clear in your mind that their agenda is one, That agenda is to take our land, our resources. That is their agenda. Let me find I think I put that there. I think I have. Yeah, that's it. So you see, they got Usman Dan Fodio. You know, I don't need to put a picture. You know what I mean. So they, they want all of them. Look at the thought process. Listen to the thought process of these two, and that tells you that whatever else they tell you is a lie. Whatever else they are telling us is all a lie. And of course, they come from Futa Djalon. Let's not forget that, because we're not going to forget that they come from Futa Djalon. So let me put it somewhere. Can I put it here? Yeah, perfect. That's perfect. That's the message and the image we want people to know about these people. They come from Futa Djalon, and the aims of their ancestors, their fathers or whatever they call them, has been to take our land. That's always been their game plan. Say, sir, they say, listen, let's show you. So I'm going to make sure you have that there. I want to make sure you can see the picture. I want you so you can get everything. So I'm going to do it. That's it. Just want to make sure we have. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, I can read it. So here is the link between all of that. The main link between everything you see here is Futa Djalon. They all come from there. Even the name of the man, Usman Dan Fodio, he comes from Futa Djalon. His parents came to Sokoto. They gave birth to him there, but they came from Futa Djalon. So they all root back there. Tafawa Balewa again come from Futa Djalon. All of them, all of their ancestry goes back to Futa Djalon. They have no claim whatsoever, none, zero. We reject any claim they have on Yoruba land, on Biafra land, on Middle Belt. And that's why we urge you to sign the NINAS. Sign the NINAS. Tell the Fulanis must go back to, they can go and create their grazing routes in Futa Djalon. They can go, the Fulanis can go and create their grazing routes in Futa Djalon. Yes, let them go and do that. That's not too much to ask, is it? It's not. It is not too much to ask. It is not too much to ask at all. And we are going to be speaking truth to power. These guys are lying and trying to take our land, and we mustn't accept it. We mustn't accept it at all. This thing, using all of these warm words to try and take land, no, we shouldn't accept it. We need to speak truth to power. They are all bunch of looters. Listen to the words. I want you to listen to the words of Tafawa Balewa. He said this in 1947. Listen to the words. We do not want, sir, our southern neighbors to interfere. Who are our southern neighbors? That's you, me, you and I. If you are from Middle Belt, if you are from Biafra, if you are from Yoruba land, we are the southern neighbors. We do not want our southern neighbors to interfere in our development. Take your development and go and do it in Futa Djalon. I should make it clear that if the British quitted Nigeria now at this stage, the northern people would continue their uninterrupted conquest to the sea. That means that is why I am telling you all of the names of all of the landmarks that we have, the stadiums, the last road before the Atlantic, they should all have Yoruba names. They should all have Yoruba names. They have no claim. They should, if they want to have a landmark, let them go and have their landmark names made in Futa Djalon, because that's where they come from, and they must go back there. The killings has gone on long enough. We need to confront them with the facts. They are not Nigerians. They are Guineans. They are from Futa Djalon. Futa Djalon is in Guinea. This is not Nigeria. Futa Djalon is in Guinea. Fulanis belong to Futa Djalon. And Futa Djalon is in Guinea, not Nigeria. And look at this. Once they're talking about they're being labeled wrongly, here we have Gumi sitting with terrorists, and the federal government of Nigeria, the Fulani federal government, says nothing, supports him. I've got pictures where he's walking around with his own security detail running next to his car. And you're telling me that we're the same? We're not the same at all. We are not the same in any way, shape, or form. We reject any attempt by the Fulanis to lay claim to any part of Yoruba land, Biafra land, or Middle Belt. We have evidence of Yorubas having been in existence for 13,000 years in our land. And they have just come, 1804? Compared to 13,000 years? You must be kidding. You must be kidding. And I want our people, our knowledge, if we spread this knowledge, the people will stand up for their land. And that's all we're saying. We are not accepting this. The Fulanis must go back to Futa Djalon to create their grazing routes in Guinea. Let them go and do that there. Not with us. Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Citizen A, the platform where we speak truth to power. Thank you for watching. When you get this video, please share, and share. Thank you. Goodbye.